Switching to Geico is a good idea, especially when you consider everything.
First off, Geico makes it easy to switch. They have licensed agents available 24/7 online or over the phone.
But if it's so easy, you might start thinking everything is easy, even big wave surfing. And it's not. It's actually quite difficult.
Well, if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds on car insurance. And you could keep saving by bundling your motorcycle, boat, and RV, plus your home or renter's insurance.
But saving money might lead you to make some questionable purchases, like a 20-foot feather boa. And do you know how hard it is to clean a 20-foot feather boa?
Well, they do have an industry-leading mobile app you can use to pay your bill, file and manage a claim, or add a new driver.
But when life gets a little easier, it makes you too confident, and you start calling everyone Ace. And you're better than that.
Well, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating and has been saving people money for 85 years. It's hard to beat that.
But you're right.
Switch to Geico. It's obviously a good idea.
Hello and good morning, Doctor. How are you doing today?
Hi, Aaron. Great to talk to you.
Dude, before we even get started, we've got to let listeners know where they can find this book, because this is a piece of valuable lessons to learn and to stay healthy. It's called Back and Neck Health. It is from the Mayo Clinic, but where can they just go into a Barnes & Noble and get this book?
Yeah, so you can go to your local bookstore. The other thing is online, Amazon.com, Target.com, Walmart.com, BarnesandNoble.com. All of them have it available online as well.
Do you feel like you let us in on the magic trick with this book, because you talk about a lot of great stuff in this book that's kind of revealing. It's almost like, wow, I'm going to this book first before I check in with the doctor.
Right. Well, that was our hope. So I'll tell you, Mayo Clinic, I'm a neurosurgeon at Mayo Clinic. I treat back and neck issues. And Mayo Clinic, we have these guides to a variety of different diseases. This was our first guide on back and neck health. And the reason that we did it, and the reason that we thought it was so important to do it, is, exactly what you're saying, which is there's so many people who suffer from this. It's 80% of people are going to suffer from back and neck issues. It's the number one reason to see your doctor. Number 3 is neck. So 2 of the top 5 reasons to see your doctor. And not everybody can, be a patient at Mayo Clinic, although we want to be as accessible as possible. And so exactly as you said, we wanted to, let people in on the secret, so to speak, and to offer that comprehensive, trusted, authoritative, Mayo Clinic guidance on this area, so that we give people the latest understanding, the latest, medical knowledge on this topic area. And, we provide, exercises and specific things that normally we would only give people in person at Mayo. We provide those in the book so that people can more widely understand them and benefit from them.
Yeah,
so that was sort of some of our thinking in putting this together.
That's right there on in chapter number 7, page number 103, because you go into physical therapy, because in reality, I'm sure you see it every day. We're all doing it wrong. Our back hurts, and the first thing we want to do is we want to pop it. We want to get one of those little styrofoam things and just start pop on everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of, that's such a great point, because there are a lot of misconceptions, and that was part of our motivation, is that, exactly as you're saying, people think that they're helping themselves, but they may in fact be going the opposite direction. And so that's exactly why we put this together, so that, we can offer guidance and sort of a step-by-step, best way to do things type of approach.
I got to ask you a question, because the 15 months of the COVID-19 has taken place. Everybody became addicted to home computers because that's where their job was, or they were on Zoom. How many neck injuries have been reported, do you think, in the past 15 months? Because we're not sitting straight on that computer. We're leaning into the moment.
I think so many issues have resulted, and we're actually seeing, from a back and neck perspective, we're seeing more, not less of these issues right now, exactly for the reason that you state. We're not walking around, we're not exercising, we're being sedentary, we're sitting at home, we're eating more, so there's worse obesity. So all of those things have combined into, poor posture, poor back and neck health, and, sort of exacerbating these two areas. No question about that.
So what is it about backaches and stress? How are they connected? Are we really wearing the weight of the world on our shoulders?
stress is highly connected to pain, And stress and sleep also go hand in hand. And the more stressed that you are, the more likely that you are to have severe pain. And in addition to that, the worse your sleep is, the more likely you are to have severe pain. So sleep is sort of how the body rejuvenates itself. But if you get poor sleep, your pain is exacerbated, and it becomes a catch-22 where your pain doesn't get better because you can't sleep, and you can't sleep because your pain's there. And so stress, sleep, and pain are all in sort of a circle that can really become very quickly sort of a very negative thing unless you better manage the stress and better manage how you sleep and your sleep hygiene.
The book we're talking about is Back and Neck Health, Mayo Clinic Guide to Treating and Preventing Back and Neck Pain. I'm not going to lie to you. My parents were addicted to back surgery. Every time I turned around, Mom and Dad were going to the hospital for back surgery. That's the reason why I wanted to talk to you today. You can't be always working on your back. No, and that. So a couple of things. So one, and we go through this in detail, surgery is a last resort. So there's many things that are managed non-surgically and non-operatively, and that's really important to keep in mind. Some people need surgery. If you have spinal instability, if you have compression on the nerves, if you have things like that, some people have to have surgery for those things. But there's a lot of non-operative things that should be tried first. The things that would make me, sort of more concerned. So if it's a very pinpoint muscle-specific type pain, generally that self-resolves, and we can manage that with, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories and ice packs and rest and things of that nature. But if it's pain that, say, also has weakness associated with it, so your leg's weak or your ankle is weak. If it's pain that also has, that travels, meaning the pain goes from the back to the buttock, to the thigh, to the calf, to the foot, that's a little more concerning. If it's pain that's so severe that you can't get up, you can't walk, you can't go to work, that's more concerning. So there's a few types of pains that are very concerning where you should see your doctor. There's other types of pain that, probably are going to self-resolve and you could give them some time. But you're right. I mean, in terms of what you're saying is we do see many patients with, many different surgeries. Some patients have to have surgery. There's no other choice around it. But that's the minority of cases. The majority of cases, pain can be managed non-surgically. Have we become the generation that no longer trusts conventional wisdom?
Well, it's a great question. This is exactly one of the reasons why we thought this was important. So there are so many sources of information out there that it's actually worse. You probably recall a time where, you would go to the library and there was fiction and nonfiction, and, you'd go to the nonfiction and get your book and you'd come out, and the publishing houses had certain, had certain cutoffs of who they're going to publish, who they're not. So, this book, Simon & Schuster, for example. So those days are over. I mean, everybody now can put out their own manifesto, their own. And the problem is, as a patient, that's where we really steer people to, look for guidance from Mayo or from a reputable health source, where things are curated, you're getting expert opinions. And that's the most important thing. And that's part of the reason for this book, that we wanted to provide that official guidance so that people weren't steered in the wrong direction by well-meaning people, but people who don't have the full sort of gamut of training and expertise to be able to provide all that guidance.
When I was in high school, one of the first things that they did when I got in the 7th grade was they checked me for scoliosis, and yeah, I got it. But the thing is, I don't ever hear of students today, doing that test where they, they kind of bend you over to see if you've got a curvature of the spine.
Yeah. There's a number of things like that. I mean, pediatric scoliosis is one of these things where, a lot of children can suffer from it. And there's a number of treatments short of surgery, including bracing that can be utilized as modalities to help children suffering from it. But it can be under detected for those reasons. I think, the schools sort of do their own thing these days, but yeah, I mean, there's a number of things that sort of used to be done for diagnostic or preventative purposes that, we no longer see them getting done in a systematic way.
So what comes first? I mean, actually, I'm not even going to ask that question. What I want to do is I want to know, people, when they say, oh, my back hurts, how do you tell the difference between, well, is it my spine or is it my muscles?
Yeah. So the first thing that we start with is a description of the various anatomies. Okay. And we show it to you in diagrams so that you get an understanding of what's at play here. So when we say the back, the neck, there's muscle, there's fascia, there's ligaments, there's joints. There's two joints in the back called the facet joints. There's one joint in the front called the intervertebral disc, like a disc herniation, or someone has a discectomy, that's that joint. Then there's nerve roots. There's two at every level that come out, and then there's a collection of nerve roots in the middle, and then there's the spinal cord of the neck and in the upper part of the back. And then in the low back, it becomes all nerve roots. So my point in saying that is to say there's a lot of different anatomic areas that can get injured. And depending on which one it is, the treatments are slightly different and the management is slightly different. And so you're right. Now the most common is something related to the muscle or the fascia. That's the most common. That's that sort of pinpoint, my back hurts right here. That's that type of pain. And then sometimes, you end up doing imaging and realizing that there's areas of the back or neck that are causing pain related to, but those areas are managed or caused by an underlying etiology. So you may have a tumor there.
Oh, man.
You may have a vascular lesion there. Right. I mean, those are rare. That's not the vast majority of cases is not that. But that's why, we want to be careful in terms of how we manage these conditions and what protocols we follow related to them.
Oh, it's a brilliant book. Is there a website where people can go to find out more about you, show you some love, and find out more about the Mayo Clinic?
Yeah, the Mayo Clinic website is a great source. And then, also Amazon and some of the bookseller websites are very good as well. So any of those, are very good sources. You
got to come back to this show anytime in the future, dude, because you've got a subject here that's affecting everybody. You can see it. Oh, my God, you can see it. The way people are leaning forward and stuff, their backs are killing them.
Yep, absolutely. So common. I'd be happy to come back anytime. And thanks for having me with you today.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay, doctor?
Thank you very much. Talk to you again.
Some read self-help books. Others use meditation. At New Balance, it's believed that peace can be found with a run. The lessons learned while running your race are a blueprint for overcoming obstacles and achieving balance in life. Go beyond the run at newbalance.com.